Max Nation! I'm Munger to the Max coming at you with today's episode of the Sports Room Talk Show. A salute to you. Now, before we get going, if you haven't done so already, make sure you punch that subscribe button like a UFC fighter, hit the like button with the Judas effect, courtesy of Chris Jericho, and deliver a curb stomp to the notification bell, courtesy of Seth freaking Rollins. But if you don't want to hit the notification bell with a curb stomp, then just deliver a spear to the notification bell, courtesy of the almighty Bobby Lashley. Whichever one floats your boat. Doesn't matter to me. But anyway, so earlier on Skip and Shannon Undisputed, they were talking about the Dallas Cowboys because the Dallas Cowboys have been Skip Bayless's team for years. And they were talking about the NFC Championship. And it got me to thinking, can the Dallas Cowboys actually get to the NFC Championship? And I say, no, they can't. I'm not even sure the Cowboys are going to make it to the playoffs. I'm not definitively saying that the Dallas Cowboys are going to miss the playoffs. All I am simply saying is that there is a chance that they could miss the playoffs. Why do I say that? Well, let's look at the landscape. In the NFC East, you have the Philadelphia Eagles and you have the New York Giants. And then in the NFC West, you've got the San Francisco 49ers and you have the Seattle Seahawks, who I think could actually win the NFC West over San Francisco. In the NFC North, you've got the Detroit Lions. I think Green Bay is still going to be a factor, even with Jordan Love as their quarterback. Maybe Chicago improves this season. And Minnesota won the division last year. Granted, the Vikings narrowly escaped a bunch of games, so they were pretty lucky for most of their season. But they could still be a factor. And then with the NFC South, watch out for the Atlanta Falcons. They could be a sneaky good team. And I think the Carolina Panthers are going to be an improved team this season. So being that, again, you have Seattle, San Francisco in the NFC West. You've got Detroit, and I'm going to include Chicago and Green Bay in the discussion from the NFC North. You've got Atlanta and Carolina from the NFC South. And then from the NFC East, you've got the Giants and the Eagles. I don't know if there's enough room for the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, I know the Cowboys have Tony Pollard. Yes, I know the Cowboys have I almost said Amari Cooper. No, Amari Cooper's with us here in Cleveland because the Cowboys traded him to us. The Cowboys have Brandon Cooks. They traded for Stephon Gilmore this offseason. But can we really trust Dak Prescott? I don't think so. If I had to make a tier of all the NFC quarterbacks, I would probably put him in the fourth tier or something. Somewhere in that area. I'd have to look at all the NFC quarterbacks and really analyze each of them to make my tiers. Maybe I'll do that in an upcoming video. Do that for both the AFC and the NFC. Rank all the quarterbacks in each conference into tiers. I know that for the AFC, in Tier 1, I would have Patrick Mahomes. Tier 2, I would have Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. Tier 3, that's where I would put Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert. Tier 4, I'm going to say that is Kenny Pickett. Oh, wait, no, I screwed this up. Tier 1, Patrick Mahomes. Tier 2, Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. Tier 3, that's where I'm going to say Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert both go. Tier 4, I'm going to say Kenny Pickett and Trevor Lawrence. And that's all I've got so far. In the NFC, I would say Jalen Hurts is number 1. and I'm really not sure about the rest. But if I had to say where I would put Dak, I would probably put him in tier 4 or tier 5, something like that. Again, I would really have to like sit down and break it down. Um, but that's just my early thoughts. Um, yeah, I would for the AFC. I would not put Tua Tagovailoa high in the tiers because he simply can't stay healthy. Um, if I were the Miami Dolphins, yeah, I would. I don't trust Tua as my quarterback. I've got all this talent around him. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Cedric Wilson. You've got a really good running game. But as can I trust that Tua can stay healthy? No. So if I were the Dolphins, I'd be going out looking for a quarterback. I would have tried to actually see if Baltimore would have been willing to trade Lamar Jackson. Um, I would have. I don't think I would have gone for Aaron Rodgers. I know the Dolphins were connected to Deshaun Watson a few times. Maybe I would have pulled the trigger on that. Um, I'm surprised that when the Browns played the Dolphins last season, I know Deshaun Watson wasn't available to play in that game because he was still suspended, but I'm still surprised that that storyline wasn't built up. If it were me, I would have ended his suspension for that game in Miami because I think that would have been a fantastic storyline. I think it would have been better than him making his debut against his former team in Houston. Because again, the Dolphins were connected to Deshaun Watson. It's like, oh, the Dolphins might actually trade for him and blah, 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 blah. So to me, that would have been the much better storyline. I wrote a whole article about it. I might include a link to it in this video. But yeah, if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I'm not trusting Tua. And if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I don't trust Dak. He's got a contract coming up, and he's eligible for an extension. If I'm Jerry Jones, I'm not rushing to give him an extension. What has Dak done for me lately? He's lost to the 49ers twice in the playoffs. Granted, they won the NFC East, but when was the last time the Dallas Cowboys were actually relevant? Mid-90s. That's why, to me, the Dallas Cowboys, they are not America's team anymore. I would say, if I had to say who America's team is, I would say either the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Green Bay Packers. I would say it's one of them. Not the Kansas City Chiefs, and definitely not the New England Patriots. I would say the Patriots are one of the most hated teams in America. And I think if the Chiefs continue to win, they are quickly going to become one of the most hated teams in the NFL. But that's just my opinion about it. But yeah, do I think, getting back to my main point, do I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to make it to the NFC Championship game? Hell no. Like I said, I don't even know if they're going to make it to the actual playoffs. Because the Giants aren't going anywhere. The Eagles aren't going anywhere. Again, you've got the Atlanta Falcons, who I think are going to be a sneaky good team. You've got the Carolina Panthers. They could be a dangerous team. You've got the Detroit Lions, who I think are going to win the NFC North. And they could be a very dangerous team. We'll see what Chicago does. They trade for DJ Moore this offseason. And I think Green Bay is still going to be a factor with Jordan Love as their quarterback. And then in the NFC West, you've got the San Francisco 49ers, although we don't know who their quarterback is going to be. And you've got the Seattle Seahawks. They just drafted Devon Witherspoon. And it seems like the Seahawks are trying to recreate the Legion of Boom. We'll see how that goes. And I really like what they have on offense because now they have DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. And they didn't draft a quarterback, which tells me that they fully believe in um, Geno Smith. So we'll see if last year was just a one-off thing or if it was legit. But until next time, I'm Unger to the Max. This is the Sports Room, and I will see you later.